Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what the game has for me today. We've got the Curious, which we've done already, and the Vagabond. Vagabond is going to be a fairly challenging character. We're going to use 6 different random weapons for this character, so we could end up with a very incoherent setup that doesn't take advantage of the Vagabond's passive at all, and then we're just playing with massive defensive and economic penalties. So let's go ahead and see what weapons we get, and we'll see if we can make it through. Hatchet is not a great one, though the primitive weapon tag, if we can duplicate it, is a nice tag to have. Rather, if we don't duplicate it, is a nice tag to have. What we don't want is to have more weapons of the same tag, because with the Vagabond you get the full benefits even if you only have one weapon of that type. One disadvantage for the Vagabond, therefore, is that because we rolled primitive, there's a lot of primitive weapons, we could end up with a lot of different primitive weapons. Hatchet has no second tag, which you also want a second tag for this character, so not a great roll, but I think we can make it work. Normally I would take the Harvesting here, but Vagabond has half value from harvesting, so I'm just gonna take the regen rather than worry about harvesting. And yeah, you can see here that we're already doubling up and in fact tripling up on primitive weapons, which is not what we want. Though blunt weapons is a great tag to have, and unarmed and support are both excellent tags to have. So, like I said, I'm going to use the first 6 weapons we see. We're going to play this as true random weapons. I have to lock the rock here. It's the rules of the challenge, but I'm not going to reroll because we'll just take whatever weapon shows up next time anyways. But having gotten the hand there, that is the type of weapon that we really wanted to hit, because it gives us the unarmed tag, lots of dodge there, and the support weapon tag as well. Is duct tape worth locking? I don't think so. So let's just go straight to the next wave. I guess if I knew I was getting the support weapon tag, I might have taken the 5 harvesting, just to try to increase our harvesting growth. Because, of course, we only get half value off of harvesting on this character. Our hand is actually kind of messing us up by pushing these enemies away and preventing us from farming easily. Definitely taking a helmet, of course, offsetting our armor penalty is really important. And I will take 2.5 harvesting now that we know we've got the support weapon tag. Prune are really bad find, unfortunately, because this just doubles up a weapon tag we already have and doesn't give us anything new. Weird Ghost, I do have 33 HP already, so I think I'm going to pass on the Weird Ghost. Do I even care about leveling up the hand? I guess so, because it gives me some additional harvesting. Ghost Scepter, I would have loved the ethereal weapon tag. Huge bonus in terms of dodge chance for this character, but of course we do not get that option. I'll take the coffee. I'll do a reroll here to see if I can upgrade my weapons a little bit, and I'll take a Cacti Club upgrade. Definitely want to get all of our weapons to level 2. Of course, when you're using 6 different weapons, it's very difficult to upgrade your weapons past 2, because you have to roll level 2 or higher weapons and then sell the one that you have already, so it costs you a lot of money to upgrade. So we need to get our weapons to level 2 as soon as possible. After that, we may not upgrade our weapons as a high priority any further. Getting 2 crates already is pretty nice, though, I have to say. Goat Skull, we are an almost all melee damage character, so very happy to see that. And then let's go ahead and re-roll this, and I'll take 2 armor for sure. Now we're at positive armor, that's great. I could take 2.5 luck, because of course our luck modifiers are also reduced by 50%, but let's just take 2 regen here. I don't really need the max HP when we've already got 35, because we're a primitive weapon tag. And we have blunt as well, increasing our max HP, so really don't need the additional health early, but I do want to increase my regen. Gonna definitely take the mushroom. I'll upgrade the hatchet. Alien tongue I could take, but I think it's not worth spending 35 on this early. Okay, going to a level 3 Cacti Club this early I think is worth it. And I will buy feather. I'll take broken mouth as well. Feather, the 3% dodge is pretty nice, even though the ranged damage isn't useful, but this is a relatively inexpensive way to buy 3 dodge. We already have 10 dodge, so this character wants to invest in dodge, because each point of dodge gets better the more dodge you have. Gonna go ahead and break that tree there. The hand continuing to kind of mess us up. Obviously, the unarmed tag is an amazing tag for us, but the hand itself not a great weapon because the harvesting isn't that important, and it pushing enemies away from us is problematic. I'll take the Weird Ghost when it shows up for free in a box like this, and then I think I'm just going to take 3 regen. I could take 6 speed as well. Yeah, actually, I'll take 6 speed. And then 15 attack speed's an amazing find. Very happy with that. I figured I could take the movement speed, because we had minus 12%, which obviously is unplayable. We don't want to play with that low movement speed. But also because we had the mushroom locked in the shop, so I was going to be able to buy more regeneration. Take the Cacti Club, and I'll buy Broken Mouth. We don't need the dodge yet, so while we do want the feather, we can get 3% more experience next wave. More or less for free. One reason we can get away with the Weird Ghost easily, aside from just our regeneration, is we have a garden from the pruner, so we do have that advantage. Vagabond with, like, true random weapons is always a really interesting challenge, because optimizing this character's weapon tags is a really fun puzzle. When you don't get to do that, you're just playing a very weak character, so it's a pretty high challenge mode for the game. If you're wondering how to play this character normally, the most important tags are Ethereal and Unarmed, and then you want Primitive and Blunt as well, and that offsets all of the defensive penalties that the character normally gets. Here I will take 6 melee damage, because that's perfect to increase our damage output. We actually do have the Elemental Weapon tag for +5 base elemental damage, so the Scared Sausage could increase our damage output quite a bit. This makes our hand better, it makes the thorns from our Cacti Club better as well, so really nice find with the Scared Sausage, and being able to kill enemies without having to actually hit them with our kind of bad weapon set, really nice. Picking up a Rock, great as well, because level 2 Rock gives us an armor, which of course we want, and then we'll buy those 2 items also. Stone Skin, I only have 2 armor, I don't want to lose attack speed, I think we can pass on the Stone Skin here. And I'll take the Scar and Bean Teacher, though. These 2 are great economic items. Incendiary Turret, I think, is also worth picking up. This character is going to have trouble clearing enemies, so the Incendiary Turret can help with that, especially on Wave 9. Incendiary Turret is often worth buying even if you have no engineering and no plans to do any engineering, because the amount of damage it does just at base is so high that Incendiary Turret can be really helpful. The Scared Sausage also increases the burning damage of the Incendiary Turret as well. It does conflict a little with Scared Sausage, because you can't have 2 different burning effects on an enemy at once, but the enemies we're setting on fire with Scared Sausage are not the ones that are going to be getting hit by the level 2 turret anyways. I'd say we're in decent shape so far here. I'll take 4 more melee damage to make sure we can actually kill stuff, and then we'll buy the 2 economy items. We'll take an Incendiary Turret. Really easy shop there, just go straight to Wave 7. Drink some water as well. I actually think our damage is high enough to allow the flashers to hatch here, because my damage output is actually pretty decent on this character right now. We found a couple really solid melee damage upgrades. So we're able to sneak in a few more materials by letting those hatch. When they hatch, they drop 4 materials. When they don't hatch, they only are worth 1 material, so you can allow them to hatch to get a little bit of extra money, as long as it doesn't cost you clear speed to kill the slashers as opposed to other enemies. But on melee weapons, that's usually not an issue, because your melee weapons have infinite piercing, so you can hit those and other stuff at the same time. We got 3 levels because of our huge XP gain upgrade. I don't need the lifesteal. We do have a Cacti Club, which does let us use lifesteal a little better, but I think I'm gonna just roll past all this stuff. Yeah, 12% damage I'm much happier with than any of this other stuff, and then I will definitely take more attack speed. More regen or more armor? Let's take 3 armor. Upgrading the torch, that's nice because the extra burning damage is really nice. If I can get the torch to level 3, I think it is, where it gets an extra, where fire spreads further, that also affects the fire from the incendiary turret and the scared sausage, so that's actually a really nice bonus if I can get that. Metal, of course, we're taking. It is somewhat interesting to take range on this character, because we've got very low range on these weapons, but I think still not worth it. But I'll take the baby gecko. That gives us range and also a real economic boost. But yeah, I guess baby gecko and gentle alien, and we'll lock the mastery. Don't care about losing the ranged damage. We don't need to build ranged damage for our cacti club. That's just to apply scared sausage anyways. Then I'm going to roll past mutation as well and lock these 2 items. Perfect. I also do like the idea of the Vagabond just using 6 random weapons, because it's very on flavor for the character, right? Just pulling a random collection of crap out of the garbage and having to fight aliens with it. I was really hoping that one hand slap would light that ranged alien on fire. That would have killed it without me having to run back towards it. Because we have Scared Sausage and decent elemental damage, I'm gonna pick up things like Pocket Factory and turrets that we can use to spread the fire around the map with. That wasn't English. That we can use to spread the fire around the map. Nice, we got a crate there as well. Another Weird Ghost. Going into Wave 9, I think we're safe to buy the Weird Ghost. We're very unlikely to take damage in the early stages of Wave 9, so we'll just pick that up. Take more attack speed. When you have a random collection of weapons, attack speed is usually the stat that you should care the most about, because it works on pretty much every weapon in the game, always benefits from attack speed. Go ahead and buy all of these items. No, we're 1 short of buying the whetstone. I think I will still lock the whetstone, though. Although it's only effectively buying me 2% lifesteal, this character can use lifesteal, so I think buying whetstone, which is a very efficient source of it, isn't bad. I'll take the head injury. We've got -6 crit chance and a bunch of weapons that only crit for 1.5x, or even less in the case of the pruner, so we're going to ignore the insanity here. Kill a couple enemies, pick up a consumable, and then we're safe, despite having bought Weird Ghost. Even though I then took that hit. As always, a principle that I think will serve people well is you should be buying Weird Ghost more often. And more than just specifically buying Weird Ghost more often, you should take more winning lines when you're playing games. The most common mistake when playing games is to play to not lose rather than play to win. So you should look for lines that have high upsides and not be scared of the downsides, because you can then play in such a way as to mitigate the downsides. Continuing to get a lot of levels here, which is great. I'm going to re-roll. I feel like we can do better than this. Obviously, we have negative luck, but we can still maybe get a level 2 upgrade or just a more important upgrade. I'll take an armor here. I'm going to take 6 dodge as well, because we actually have... although maybe I need the movement speed. What's our boss pattern? Yeah, so I'm going to take the movement speed because we have an elite at level 12. If we had a horde first, I'd take the dodge here, but you really don't want to fight elites with negative movement speed. More attack speed or more armor? Let's take the attack speed. Here I will pick up all of these items. This is an amazing shop for us. And then we're going to roll again. Definitely taking a fertilizer here and rolling. Okay, we get to upgrade our pruner, which is nice. It just gives us a little bit more in the way of consumable healing. Roll again. We'll take a cake. It's an efficient source of HP, which isn't bad to have, and then I'm definitely locking all of these other items, all of which are a reasonable proportion of our plan, or, in the case of... all of which are either a solid addition to our plan, in the case of Scared Sausage, or really nice regeneration, in the case of the other two. Would love to have Pocket Factory now that we've got 2 Scared Sausages. Also, with 2 Scared Sausages and a torch that we can maybe level to level 3 and an incendiary turret, we're kind of in the market for things that care about burning, so we're more interested in elemental damage than we were previously. We're also more interested in things like eye surgery or snake. Obviously, fried rice or Greek fire would both be really excellent as well, but in terms of more realistic options, just anything that buffs up our burning damage a little would be pretty nice for this character. And I'll buy pretty much any engineering structures I see, because they can all apply the burning damage. Here I'm going to take more melee damage over more percent damage, I think, and then 12 speed, perfect. Now we don't have to worry about movement speed going into this elite fight. I'm going to buy out this whole shop. Great, and then roll again. Campfire, I think I'm going to buy the campfire and the spicy sauce. This is a reasonable amount of extra damage. Campfire, we do want more regeneration, and we don't mind the elemental damage either. We have enough movement speed now that we can afford that, so I think it's worth picking up. Incendiary turret, we'll upgrade our pruner as well. I've probably missed some weapon upgrades, but like I said, we don't really care about weapon upgrades on this character. The only one I really want to upgrade is my torch, or if we could get the rock to level 4, I'd upgrade that. But other than that, we're just not that worried about upgrading our weapons. So I just haven't really been, like, looking for them. If you've been wondering why I passed some weapon upgrades, either I just missed it, or it was because I didn't want it, and I did miss it, the opportunity to upgrade a weapon if I passed one, but that's because I wasn't particularly looking for it, because it's just not something that's very important for us to do. So many materials dropped all at once in that spot. I was like, did we get a secret brick that I didn't know about? And it just broke underneath my character? Just a bunch of enemies all dying at once. I'm not sure if we'll have the damage to fight the elite. Our defensive stats are not really strong enough to fight an elite right now, but we'll see. Losing 8 attack speed, 6 engineering, obviously would be good if I get more constructs. We have an incendiary turret locked in the shop. It's only 31 materials. I think I'll take the toolbox. That's kind of close. You could definitely pass the toolbox. It would be fine as well. Taking 9 dodge here, that's excellent. We'll take the items we have locked. Jelly, great for the Vagabond, obviously. And I'll take a medical turret as well. We're a little light on healing right now, so medical turret could be pretty helpful. We'll take a pile of books. I'm still not going to take Toxic Sludge, even though I've mentioned that we don't mind elemental damage. We're not going wildly out of our way for it. But Baby Squid, I'll pick up. Actually, pile of books. I've got negative crit chance already, so... And how likely am I to build crit chance? Never mind. This was a bad lock, and I'm going to unlock it and then actually re-roll here. Go fight the elite. Alright. Elite's over here. This is a fairly difficult one for this character because it runs away from us, so it's going to be hard to focus damage on with our melee weapons, but I think we have the damage to kill it. Once it starts running towards us, it's a little easier to focus damage on as well. Get those consumable heals. Now, we will take a bunch of hits from it, so I'm going to back off for a minute and just regenerate. Let my medical turret heal us back up. Then we can run back in and put a little more damage on it. Very bad movement from me is causing me to have this be a much riskier fight than it needs to be. But I believe we should be able to get it right before the end of the wave here. Go ahead and kill it, pick up the full heal. take a million hits right afterwards, but we're still in okay shape. I did get a lucky dodge there. I don't think we'd have died, but we would have come very close. So obviously not well fought by me. The correct decision there was to just not try to kill the elite, but I got greedy. Regeneration potion will kind of solve that problem. Let's go ahead and reroll, and I'll take 10 more attack speed. Riposte, not bad. We've got 20 dodge already, so I'm going to buy these 3 items. And then do a reroll here. We'll take a corrupted shard. Decomposing flesh. Yeah, I think it's early enough the decomposing flesh will still be useful. And lifesteal is still nice for this character, so we'll take that as well. Definitely that last fight was one of the closer calls I've had in this series. Put myself in a very bad position by trying to fight that elite. Just getting too greedy. I think because we have so much HP and I was just like feeling really strong, I'm getting a little sloppy. Also, of course, when you're on a, whatever we're on, 80 plus win streak, it's really difficult to maintain the sense that you could lose. And of course, I need to, you know, like the Roman emperors apocryphally did, I need someone to whisper, "Remember you're mortal," while we go on our triumph. I will take the dodge over the attack speed here, and then we will pick up lifesteal and more dodge. Do I want the ritual and the blood leech? I think I do want both of these items. I'm going to take the ritual over the blood leech here, but we'll grab both. I'll take a fertilizer as well, and then rip and tear will be a really nice one. It's too bad that we aren't getting that for this horde wave, because obviously it would be really strong there, but it'll still be nice to help clear the later waves. This is going to be a tough wave as well. Obviously, both my incendiary turrets spawned directly adjacent to one another. But this should be a fairly difficult wave because it's very tough for us not to break the summoners. So there's just going to be goobers all over the map. And there's not a lot that we can do about that. The other thing that is getting me a little on this run, by the way, is that we're playing with very low luck, which I never do. I just never don't buy luck, which means we're getting a lot less free consumable healing than I'm used to. So I'm playing as though I'm going to drop more consumable healing, which then doesn't happen because our luck is like -2 or whatever. I guess we got it up to 7 because I bought the one lucky potion. But that means that I'm playing as though I'm gonna get healed in cases where I'm not going to, and putting myself in a riskier position than I need to be in. I'll take the spyglass. The range is pretty useful, and when it shows up in a box, we'll make the 21 materials back. I could take 7.5 luck here, and I think I will, actually. I think getting up to 14 luck will give us a lot more healing, which is nice. Ice Cube, excellent. Of course, we do a lot of elemental damage, so that's perfect. We'll buy both of these items. We'll reroll. Okay, upgrading our torch. So, yeah, the level 3 torch gives us the extra burning spread, which is great. And then we'll take an injection as well. Do a reroll here. I guess I'll upgrade the hatchet. It will increase our damage output, so worth doing, especially because I think, want to build enough damage that we can kill the bosses quickly. So I'm going to upgrade one of my higher damage weapons to make sure that we can do that. Really wish we had a pocket factory this run. Would be so nice. I feel like our rip and tear isn't doing anything. All right, we're getting a couple Rip and Tear explosions. It is working. It's just not visibly killing that much because our melee damage isn't that high. Oh, there's a loot alien over here, which I definitely want to take out. Grab that tree kill as well. Trees are also less valuable to kill than they usually are because our luck is very low, so we're less likely to get a crate out of them. But we still got 2 crates this wave. Blood donation, I do have a regeneration potion, so my healing's a little better than it looks. We would only get 20 harvesting, though. I think we're just going to pass. Take the turret here. I'll take 12% movement speed. That's really nice. We'll pick up an upgraded hatchet, grab an injection. Fuel tank I still don't want, even though we have some elemental damage. It's just not something that we're building heavily towards. Take the gentle alien and metal, and I'll grab another medical turret. I feel like we are going to need additional healing to fight this next elite, and possibly the bosses as well, depending on our damage output, so I'm just going to make sure we've got that set up. Our incendiary turrets are... you know, they're young and in love, they're on a romantic getaway, and refuse to be apart from each other for even a single wave. Very frustrating. Not making great income in these later waves. We do have 2 gentle aliens, but of course our harvesting is only fine. It's actually much better than it would normally be on a Vagabond run, because we did get the hand as one of our weapons, but we could definitely be making more money. I'll take the claw tree, I guess. 1 melee damage for 17 is fine. I don't need more movement speed, so let's reroll this, and I'll reroll again. 9 dodge, that's perfect. We're up to 54 dodge. That's exactly what we need. Alien baby, we don't need. I don't want to increase enemy health, and I don't care that much about my max health right now. Cute monkey, great. That's a lot of healing. I'm going to reroll. Take a weird food as well. That's perfect. Bowler hat, we don't need at this point. We buy it at half value. I'm definitely not buying starfish. It's too late for the economy bonus to matter, and it would just make us die to the elites. I will take gentle alien, though. Strange book. I think I can grab this. This is a lot of engineering. We'll pick up some more incidental elemental damage as well. And I think I will buy the boiling water to go, since we're buying Strange book. Both the elemental damage and engineering are marginally useful, so I probably wouldn't buy the one without the other, but when we're buying both at once, it's not that bad. Beanie, we don't really need. We've got 28 move speed, which is fine. A lot of people really dislike this character. It's much like the Arms Dealer that we did recently, where it's a lot of people's like least favorite character. I really like the Vagabond. I really enjoy putting together a cool weapon set and kind of seeing what happens. It's a difficult character for random weapons, of course, but that also makes it more fun for me. But I enjoy the puzzle of fitting together as many weapon tags as possible. Always interesting to me which characters are the ones that people strongly dislike. It's often the characters that make you play a little differently, which I understand, especially if you're like a little less familiar with the game, or, you know, less experienced with the game or newer to the game. Having to change the way you've learned to approach the game is very difficult. Take the fried rice for sure. I'll take fuel tank now. Yes, it costs some melee damage, but we're buying the Strange book, so it's worth actually a lot of stats for us. And then here, 20 attack speed or 8 melee damage. Let's go with the attack speed. I will pick up the Strange Book, Landmines, and Boiling Water. Weird Ghost, of course, we're passing on, going into an Elite Wave, and we'll re-roll here. None of these matter. Let's roll again. I'll take a Goat Skull, I'll take a Scarf, and I'll pick up Hedgehog as well. It does cost me regen, but the melee damage, I think, is what we're going to want. Where is the Elite? All right, here it is. Let's test our damage against it. Our damage against it is not terrible. And this is a relatively slow-moving Elite. We might be able to kill it, though I'm going to back off at the first sign of trouble this time, as soon as my health starts dropping. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to fight it in stages, which is not normally how I suggest fighting elites, like doing these sort of drive-by fights. Usually you want to burst them down rather than put little bits of damage on them, because when you put little bits of damage on an elite, it puts it in its more difficult later stages faster. But this elite's actually kind of unique in that its later stages are easier in terms of the movement and attack patterns of the elite. So getting it to its second and third stage, or getting it to its third stage as fast as possible, actually can help you kill it faster. Its second stage is a little harder because it puts the tentacles on the field, which just absorb a lot of damage. But overall, I think that was a relatively clean way to fight it. Definitely taking Exoskeleton. We care about the armor more than any of these other things. And we'll take 2 more armor. And then I'll buy all of this stuff and reroll. Could have bought the Snowball if we'd gotten it a lot earlier. Go ahead and roll again. Book, I don't really care about going into wave 19. And Treasure Map and Incendiary Turret also won't help for the boss wave. So let's just roll again. And then for 31, we're not going to reroll. Pretty disappointing shop, but hopefully we can find some stuff to help us kill the bosses a little faster or defend ourselves a little better. At least we got a bunch of armor. I'd also like to get up to 20 engineering, if that's feasible, because our medical turret gets 5% engineering scaling in addition to the 3 base healing that it does. And it rounds down. So if you have -1 engineering, medical turret only heals for 2. Important to know. If you have 20 engineering, it heals for 4, which is actually a really significant boost to its healing output. So it can be very useful to try to get to 20 engineering if you can do so cheaply when you have 2 medical turrets like we do. We'll see if that's feasible, but that's something that would be nice to be able to do. Making decent money on this last wave. We left 45 on the ground, but not much you can do about that. We have 22 engineering. Perfect. I'll take 6 dodge, getting almost to dodge cap, and then Goblet is a decent way to heal. Small magazine gives us attack speed, which does matter a lot, but I think I'm going to roll past both of those. I'll take the Sad Tomato, that's fine. Dynamite, we do have Spicy Sauce and a Rip and Tear for explosion damage, and I guess these landmines, but I think we could still do better. Let's reroll here. Once again, nothing that I really care about in this shop. I'll take the Feather. Even just a little bit of dodge is really nice to get us over dodge cap. Okay, Silver Bullet, this is exactly the item that we needed. Now maybe we can actually kill the bosses. I will take a Corrupted Shard and another Jelly, because might as well pick up those items that help us out even a little bit. Our percent damage is pretty good, but can definitely be better. And then we'll see if our random collection of nonsense weapons can kill the bosses. My regen is good enough that I think we should be in okay shape, even if we can't easily kill the bosses, but we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna deliberately tank a couple hits because we have a riposte. So, and we've got 60 dodge. So, until my HP gets lower, taking hits actually just increases our DPS. Once our HP drops a bit, though, we have to stop taking hits on purpose to not end up in a risky scenario. Normally, you're supposed to kill the octopus boss first, but this boss is at much lower health, so I'm just going to chase it around to try to reduce just the total amount of attacks on the battlefield. Did manage to kill it there. You kill the octopus boss first just because its attack pattern is harder to dodge, so usually easier to focus that one down first. All right, we made it through the Vagabond. Definitely a close call in the first elite fight there. That is, I don't know if it's the closest I've come to dropping the win streak, but it's got to be up there in like the top 5 closest moments. But we did manage to maintain it, so lucky me. Looking at our items, honestly, our early items were bad. No wonder this was a more difficult run as well. We got pretty weak items economically. We did end up with decent regen. Our weapon set was fine. We got, just to look at our weapon set, we got 15 dodge from unarmed and 12.5 harvesting, plus 3 more harvesting from our hand. We got 25% damage from heavy, which is a great weapon tag to pick up. Cacti Club is one of the weapons you often want to grab. This is how I usually like to get the primitive tag. Either that or getting primitive and medieval from Javelin. Rock gave us Blunt, which gave us 3 armor and 6 max HP, which is a nice one, and then 1 more armor from the Rock. Pruner gave us nothing. Torch just gave us Elemental, and Hatchet also gave us nothing. So we were playing with only a few weapon tags for the character, a lot fewer free stats than you usually get. Definitely a difficult run, but I feel like we managed to cobble together a build that worked reasonably well, and aside from one badly played fight, a relatively smooth run overall. Scared Sausage did 70k damage, not bad at all. Incendiary Turrets, 50k, and you can see why I like these even on non-engineering builds. They helped a lot with our wave clear. What else? The Whistle, we got a couple loot aliens, but not that many, so I don't know how much the Whistle actually helped. 12k damage on Spicy Sauce, not bad, but not great. Medical turrets were excellent, healing us for 140. The regen potion obviously was great as well. 8 regen from Baby Squid, also really nice. Shady Potion, I'll admit, I completely forgot that we had 50% luck modifier when I bought this, and probably shouldn't have, though a little bit of luck was still not bad. 10k damage from the Riposte, definitely a nice one, and then 7 lifesteal from Decomposing Flesh. Spyglass worked out great. Some of this was on sort of for fun rerolls, or random nonsense rerolls, but this actually was one of the better Spyglasses I've seen in terms of how much we spent on it and how much we got out of it, especially because this was a relatively low roll run economically, so we didn't have that much money to spend on rerolls. I guess we just had bad shops, so we rerolled a lot. Rip and Tear was fine, not great. Turret similarly, though that was mostly to apply the fire. And overall, I would say that this run definitely could have been played better, but we got there in the end, and that's what matters. All right, my friends, hope you enjoyed this video. And of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit the like button. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, friends. I'll catch you next time.